Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. The time is 8:01 a.m. Sunday, November the 5th. How you doing? How you feeling? And what you thinking? You know what I'm saying? Right now I'm about to go get me a cup of coffee. Just a small cup. Got a couple things I want to definitely get done today, and today the main thing that I want to do today is plan. That's what today is. You know how teachers have planning periods. Today is your planning day for at least the next couple hours. You know, there's a lot of cleanup. You know, today is my house cleanup day. And I'm going to clean up my house and plan. You know, yesterday I spent some time tutoring my student with Xamarin. You know what? I like Xamarin. And the reason I like Xamarin is because, what's the main reason I like Xamarin? The main reason I like Xamarin is because it's giving me an opportunity to really cut into the mobile app development marketplace. And using .NET development, and Xamarin isn't that difficult, you know. And the wonderful thing about what I'm doing right now is I'm actually getting paid to expand my knowledge in Xamarin. I got a student, and don't get me wrong, I'm not, you know, I made some sacrifices on the rate in order to tutor, because I really wanted to develop my knowledge base in Xamarin and get paid for it. And so this is, you know, I find myself, and he said it yesterday. He was like, we both are learning at the same time. And he's a good guy. He's just, and I know I've been talking about him a little bit on some of these tapes. And, you know, he's the kind of person that'll just sit and code the whole thing. And he'll bring it to me and say, hey, we'll clean this mess up. And I'm like, dude, man, you got to consult with me before. But you know what, man, I'm okay with it. You know, yesterday what we did is we kind of went over dependency injection using the Xamarin Forms. And Xamarin Forms is nice, and it works. It's similar. So for all of my programmers that find themselves listening to these tapes, to these Dreamcasts, Xamarin is very similar to WinForms and, you know, WPF. You know, so the WinForms part of it it's similar, like the platform specific projects are very, very similar. It reminds me of WinForms a whole bunch. And, you know, I haven't done any WPF projects, but I did read a book some time ago on WPF, and so the XAML, XAML, is the markup that's used to render the client side UI, and each platform has its own custom XAML, but the great thing about Xamarin is Xamarin, you code the server once, and then you deploy to all of the all of the platform specific forms. You code each view or each platform specific view, but you still reference the same server side logic. And so what I'm learning Xamarin. You know, I did the class before this one, we went over the master detail methodology, and that methodology is similar to master pages in the ASP project and the WinForms project. Well, not necessarily WinForms, but definitely ASP projects in .NET. And the great thing about what we did yesterday is I was able to work through some of the major kinks in setting up dependency injection for the Xamarin Forms, and so using interfaces, and so it's actually a solid platform. I'm really enjoying myself thoroughly with this whole Xamarin tutoring thing. And the great part, like I said, I get paid to expand my knowledge, and so what I'm gonna do, and what I advise all of my programmers to do, if is I'm gonna get a subscription to Udemy, either Udemy or Code Academy. I think Udemy is one of the newest fangled version of the online courses. And so I'm going to get that today. That's one thing I want to do today. Another thing that I want to do today is, in terms of my plan, is think about the electronic systems, how I'm going to transfer this. I still have to do my my due list. I still haven't done that. I know you guys are like, what the hell, D-Rad? Yeah, man, I hadn't done it yet, man. I've been bringing new clients on. I've been managing my house. I've been managing DreamThink Design, and I've been doing a whole bunch. So another thing that I want to do today is get my bio. I'm probably gonna go to Fiverr and get a bio done. I know a guy who's good at writing. I might have him do it, because he'll probably get it done today. And set my about page up on DreamThink Design. I have some interesting pictures, or I want to put a very interesting picture. I might get like a photo shoot done. I have to see who I want to do my photo shoot, and because I want some interesting pictures on my about page describing me. And so, basically, about me, the about me on DreamThink Design is going to be fairly straightforward. I want to just kind of talk about my creative side and what I'm doing with these Dreamcasts, and really what I'm doing with this site, because the site is really a creative way for me to define myself as an expert in terms of programming. And so that's essentially what DreamThinkDesign.com is. And so that's what the about page is. What I like to do today is the about and contact us page. I took the contact us page, or the contact me page, down, and I want to get that page back up. And then what I want to do for the portfolio page is, I want the portfolio page to be like I want the portfolio page to be essentially I'm just gonna say what I'm thinking, like a virtual walkthrough of all of, like a HTML version of my portfolio. And I want the HTML version of my portfolio essentially to just kind of, I would love to have like the sites that I've worked on, like at least the stub versions of them, just so that people can click through and see what I've done, and maybe screenshots of the design, and then maybe I have to see how I can, maybe like an iframe to the website. I don't know. I have to see, because what I want over time, I'm going to be doing all of these projects, and I have a portfolio, ladies and gentlemen, that's, I think, is very antiquated, because it's on paper. What I want to be able to do is, I want people to just go to my website. If they want to see my portfolio, they need to go to my website, to my portfolio page, and check my portfolio out. I'm possibly over the next month, I'll probably be doing, I probably would have done, let's see, 3 to 4 major websites just within this last 30 days. And that's over like 3 clients. I am going to put my my own Xamarin app on there, because I'm going to be taking some Udemy courses on Xamarin as well as tutoring Xamarin. And by the time I actually start, I have to actually put this on my to-do list, the date, or at least put it on in my system, the date when I actually want to start Project Oduduwa, because that project is actually going to be really easy, because all I really need is the UI designed. So what I might do, I don't know. I might actually design the UI myself. I might get the elements designed, like the UI elements designed, like a base master. I'll have to figure out how I want to do it, because I might have to get like the master pages designed, because I can actually develop that. I'm feeling really confident right now in developing my project Odoodle, because of the tutoring and just because of all of the experience that I'm getting in Xamarin. And I might actually do some Xamarin development myself, or excuse me, that is going to be the Xamarin project that I'm going to be developing myself. There is some Ethereum and blockchain courses on Udemy that I'm going to be checking out. And there are a few other things, but those are really, for today at least. These are going to be some of the main things that I'm going to be doing today outside of spending time with my baby boy, Ade. And I wanted to take some time to just kind of get on here. I'm about to grab some coffee, and I'll be right back. So yes, I woke up this morning and hit that snooze way too many times. Just want to admit that. Got up today around like 6:30, 7 o'clock. And the power was off. There, like I was saying on the other session yesterday, or on one of the other sessions, was that they're doing a lot of rebuilding over here in this area that I'm in. And I was actually talking about real estate investment, and that's still a hot topic for me. So like I was saying just a few moments ago, there's that I have to do today in terms of planning and cleaning. What I'd like to do today is get this 3-month short-term goal. Like, just go ahead and settle on what's going to be on that list. Because I've actually, like I've said several times before, I've written this short-term goal list, 3-month goal, based on the 4-hour work week. I've written that several times. But what I found is that I kind of go back and I renege on it, because it changes. And the thing of it is I didn't have a process to add new things to the list. And I've only been recording this on pieces of paper, and it's just not going to cut it written on the sheet. It's not for me. Maybe for some people, some old school folks out there who only just write stuff down. But I need this stuff in a mobile app on something so I can pull it up and work on it. And so that's what's going to be my thing today, is possibly some sort of project management app. I used to use Trello, Trello.com, and that was cool. I did it for software projects, and I had a project manager that used to work for one of my corporations called Red Top International, and she used Trello. She liked it. And Trello's nice because it gives you a to-do, doing, and done, and you can add people to the board. And I used it for a while when I used to have a army of virtual assistants helping me. And I'm going to be using a system similar to Trello. I also need a system to record new ideas and new tasks and new to-do. So what I might do, so let me just talk about it here first. So let me just talk about how I've normally been doing it. What I've normally been doing is writing them. So I would write my be-do having list, and that would normally take up a whole page, right? So I would make 3 columns, and then I would write as many things that I want to be, as many things that I want to do, and as many things that I want to have as possible. And then what I would do is then I would try to make, on subsequent pages in the book, what I would try to do is create a to-do list based on my be-do having list. And what would happen is most of that stuff would be obligations that I would have to take care of too, like daily operations, like for my house, personal upkeep, like hygiene, food. And what I would find is that would take up so much of my time that I wouldn't actually spend enough time on my be, do, and having list. And so my new thing now, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to finish this. I have a cup of coffee. I'm going to make me maybe some fruit and maybe like an apple and maybe some toast with some almond butter. And I'm going to sit down and do this having list and review my be and do list, because I'm going to do whatever I end up with today. That's going to be what I'm going to do for the next 3 months. I just got to hold myself accountable to it. And, the next thing that I have to do is figure out so I'm going to use a system like Trello, but basically what I want is I need a mechanism to add new ideas as I get them, and so that I can triage them over time. And you know what this reminds me of? This reminds me of issue tracking in software development. So this is my personal issue tracking system that I'm going to make. And I could probably use issue tracker systems or, project management systems online. And I'm probably going to get some kind of gamification version of it, because then that would be fun for me, because every time somebody asks me if I play video games, I say no, and I tell them my life is my video game. So why not make it such that my life really is my video game, where I get badges and awards for accomplishing my outcomes and meeting my goals. So I'm going to be looking for some kind of gamification project management software, and I'm going to be using that to track my original list. I'm going to break my original list down into this is what today's go, at least for the next couple hours. I'm going to break the be, do, having list down into a very small task. And then I am going to look at what my daily obligations are, my weekly obligations are, look at my schedule. And it would be nice to have something that links to my Google Calendar. It would be nice to do that, because then I'll know what my schedule is for today. I think what I have now is I have blocks of time that I'm going to be working with. Like before, I tried to micromanage my schedule down to like the hour, and that's really not where my schedule is. Because right now, the other part of my system is like each day, I at least know on a weekly, monthly basis what my blocks of free time is, or not necessarily free time, but time that I can utilize to accomplish these goals. And so I'm going to set up my blocks. It would be nice to have some software to where you say, okay, per day, here's the blocks of time that I have, and then have the system, go through the process of defining each task by the hour, or at least just defining this task and estimating how long it would take. And maybe I could do something like, in Agile Scrum, they have this whole thing called planning poker, where you have a deck of cards, and the deck of cards kind of go from 1 to 3 to 5 to so on. It's like a Fibonacci sequence. And that number doesn't mean anything per se. It just, they do, but they don't necessarily coincide to a specific hard amount of time at first. So like a 1 is typically something like an easy task, so maybe an hour, less than an hour. A 3 or a 2 is, I think it jumps from 1 to 3 or something like that. And so a 3 is like maybe a half day. A 5 is maybe a couple hours, more than a half day, and so on. And so I want to get something like that to where I get to estimating how long this stuff is going to take before, like on a weekly basis, because I know each day I have some obligations that I have to do. And there is a flow chart that is in the 4-hour work week that I'm going to be utilizing in terms of like tasks as obligations, tasks that I can leverage, tasks that I have to do myself. And so I'm going to estimate these tasks, and estimating them will help me to understand like how to prioritize them, and then tasks that need more information. And so it'd be nice that the system will kind of take these tasks and then place them based on estimates that I have on my schedule per week, or maybe I can place them on my schedule per week. Maybe the system, maybe that's not something that I would expect the system to do at first. And so at that point, once I place it on my schedule, then I actually have to commit to doing it. I say that's the other part. I actually have to commit to doing it. And this is going to be tough for me because this is like organization that this level of organization I've only experienced on my software projects. I've never actually done them in my life. And I'm realizing that I have to have that level of organization in my life. So I have to go ahead and commit to doing these tasks on the days that I'm going to set them on and do them, no matter how fun or unfun they are. And then what I would like to do is have rewards baked into the system. So like maybe, some time where I just kind of go and get, I love oatmeal raisin cookies. I love those oatmeal raisin cookies. And so maybe, if I do a certain amount of tasks, maybe I give me some oatmeal raisin cookies. I actually am, I'm realizing that I need to be around women as much as I need to, work towards these projects and getting, having a consistency in terms of my finances. So, they both have to work hand in hand. I have to take time each day to learn something new. I have to take time each day to do something new. I have to commit to doing this, and I have to make this a part of my schedule. I have to commit to a certain amount of time each day to accomplishing obligations, no matter how boring they are. I have to commit to doing it, regardless of if I have my son with me, if the power's off, whatever the situation might be, I have to commit to it. I have to also commit, and this is also, I'm speaking to me and then whoever's listening, I have to commit to, just following up on my and managing my system. So I have to commit to managing my system. I have to commit to rejuvenating myself, doing those things that I need to do in order to rejuvenate myself, to prepare myself to be successful. So these are some of the things that I'm just kind of preparing to do. And, what I'm finding is that as I get closer, because I've actually been listening to these and they have been actually motivating me. So I want to take some time to congratulate me, to congratulate you, to congratulate us for taking the time to do these Dreamcasts, to listen to them every day. That's been my primary goal too each day. It's like, listen to a Dreamcast each day and go over some of the things that I've been saying and do them, and what I found is, over time, as I've been listening to these, I may not have done the task immediately, but the more I listen to the Dreamcast, the more I put it on my mind to do, the more I end up doing. So it is actually correct. The primary thoughts that you have, that's how you behave. Okay, so continue to listen to these Dreamcasts, continue to improve and optimize your life, and do not be concerned, do not be dismayed about your life and what you're missing right now, because the sacrifices that you're making right now is putting you head and shoulders above all of the competition. You want to be a beast? This is what's going to make you a beast. So, just like I say, every time we get to this point in these tapes, if your head is hung low, if you've thought about anything, well, before I get into that, I don't want to end it yet. Take some time today and write down some ants. Those automatic negative thoughts. Write a couple of them down, because just write a couple of them down. Have a pencil and paper, and as soon as they hit your mind, write it down. Because what I'd like to do is get back to maybe not the next one. We'll see. Maybe tomorrow morning, or at some point, is to get back to have another Dreamcast dedicated to limiting beliefs. Because I had the first one, and that was a really good one. And just like I said in the first one about my home and being afraid, I'm still here. I'm still in my home. I'm thankful. I'm grateful. And I've accomplished the goal yet another month. So it was it was a limiting belief. So those Dreamcasts are really good, and you need to do another one here shortly. And I'm going to do another one here shortly. And just kind of be writing down those automatic negative thoughts. And once again, just like my father said, if you find yourself during this day with your head hung low, do me a favor and raise it. Until next time.